Hey, I promised you two, and I'm back, baby, with Ford. That's right. We're gonna pull up our truck. We're gonna hang some truck nuts on them. And you know what? We're gonna stick our arm, roll down the window, no matter what temperature it is. We're gonna roll down the window, stick our arm out the window, 'cause that's what we do. That's what we do around here, boys. Put a lift kit. All right. That's too much. Anyone else think it's weird, though? I mean, come on now. They're obviously tracking these ads. I mean, Ford's got an ad over here on the left-hand side. Lincoln's got an ad on the right. Okay, guys, let's chill out. Regardless, though, Ford goes ahead. They're going to report their Q3 earnings. You already know it. Beat on a non-GAAP basis, EPS of 8 cents, 8-cent beat, which is an EPS of 34 cents for them, and a GAAP EPS of 11 cents, which missed by 10 cents. So, obviously, once you initiate those generally accepted accounting practices, they're doing something a little bit different, and they missed on that. Revenue down 2.1% year over year, a very small beat. I would just call that flat. I would call that meets expectations. I would not call that a beat. Obviously misleading because, I wait for these news articles and I'm like, what's happening? And then I see beats on revenue. I'm like, woo! Beats on revenue, let's go. And then, yeah, 50 million. That's not a beat. I mean, I'd love $50 million if you want to give that extra to me, but that's just whatever. Ford minus 4%. So, what's going on here? So if we're looking more into the numbers here, Ford actually only had around, I think, down 2% down, just as a reference there. It recovered just a slight bit. So continue to expect lower full-year structural costs in its automotive businesses, excluding pensions, other post-employment. Obviously, that's good. You do want lower structural costs. You got that right. Sustained strength in Ford credit. The company still anticipates full-year growth in adjusted free cash flow, which is good. This is a company that needs to make cash pretty regularly. I mean, I hate to say it, but Ford's in quite a bit of debt, but that's a lot of automakers really are. It's just kind of the industry as is, but Ford needs cash pretty hard. So they're going to need to find ways to increase their free cash flow, and that's what they're anticipating. So, obviously, this what we're looking for is good. I mean, this EBIT, obviously, lovely. They're above consensus. We would love to see above consensus, as well as they're pretty well in line with their EPS estimates. Nothing significant there, so I don't know if guidance disappoints. I think it's pretty well in line with estimates. Our global redesign is making choices to transform our organization to become the world's most trusted company and clear leader in an era of rapid change. Yeah, that's right, Jim Hackett. You're a hack. Okay, man. You're screwing this stock price over for everyone. Was that too rude? I'm sorry. Again, and I think there is a concern here when you're looking at Ford. Obviously, I talk about debt. They pay a good dividend, but their payout ratio is pretty high right now. I believe it's honestly right around 100%, which is obviously a concern. You don't want a company paying away all of its profits, especially if they're already in debt. There are companies for that. The real estate investment trusts are supposed to be paying out nearly 100% of their profits. So what's going on? But obviously, there's kind of been a steady decline in the auto market, and I think that will continue. This article here tends to a couple different analysts, which I hate analysts, and they're a piece of garbage, and they're always wrong about everything. Anticipates drop this year, as well as Alex Partners. Don't know who you are, but Alex, you are stupid. Another dip and a continual dip for the next 3 years, which is rough. 3 years worth of declines ahead. I don't like to see that, but it all does depend on how the auto market's doing, how the general economy is doing. So obviously, if we get into a recession, it's not going to be a major recession if we hit a recession, but I think it hurts auto market in general. Obviously, people have less jobs, less money to be spent on frivolous things, such as a nice Ford F-150, baby. They're going to go for a cheaper thing instead of the good old Ford, baby. They're not going to purchase the lift kit that everyone desires. They're not going to purchase the giant roll cage or whatever garbage they put the bumper guard. They're not going to purchase the truck nuts, okay? But I will. I'm going to put some truck nuts on my car. It's 4-door, so I'm going to go ahead and put some truck nuts on there. Let's go. Look at this beauty. Ooh, put that stang. Okay. Let's look at just some of the couple key points that they're trying to push here for us. Our belief is that freedom of movement drives human progress. Yeah, you know what? Screw you. They want to become the world's most trusted company. Pretty rough with all the recalls they've been having on vehicles. So, Financial highlights. This is what we really care about. Free cash flow up year to date. Gotta love it. Cash balance of $22 billion. Liquid assets of $35 billion. Not awful, but they still have a little bit of debt. And then the revenue being down rough. But, if you keep revenue relatively flat, and you can increase free cash flow, I think it's important. I think that is an improvement, at least. If you're not going to be increasing your revenue, at least increase your profit. That's really just how it should be. All right. Let's take a look at the next slide. Let's see. Product renewal, replacing 75% of lineup by volume by 2020. So that's going to be through new SUVs and truck portfolio. That's right. Refreshing and expanding. Which I'm sure there will be future stating regarding electric vehicles for Ford. Obviously, they're in big progress regarding that. I know they're working on already acquiring charging stations. So obviously this is something coming in the future, but I know they won't be done with any sort of production on any sort of model until 2021 at least. I don't know if they'll state that here, but just from what I'm understanding, research I've done, it looks like they probably won't be completing any sort of progress on a vehicle, at least publicly, until 2020, 2021, I believe that is. So we'll go ahead and see, and that would be certainly a refreshing lineup. So they're going for more hybrids and electric vehicles, so that's their refreshing and expanding lineup. South America, their focus is asset-light business model. Okay, that's right. Exit heavy truck business in South America. So where the truck's big is North America. That's just kind of how it is. We buy trucks here because we all are not compensating for anything. Not a chance. We want a big truck because we're confident in ourselves. We're very confident in ourselves, and there's no reason why we would buy a big truck. Too far? I don't know. Europe, restructuring cost base, reallocating capital to winning commercial vehicles. China, reducing cost. Well, China's a piece of garbage disaster. Let's not be honest. They're decreasing sales 30% every freaking quarter, every month in China. The China market is just devastated. Chinese auto market is a nightmare right now. But anyways, their focus is going to be reducing cost in China, launching products tailored to Chinese customers, so more sedan-type vehicles. Lincoln's not necessarily going to be, trucks. They're not necessarily going to be selling trucks there, The people in China, don't worry. They're not going to be putting truck nuts on their trucks, so they don't want the trucks. And rationalize inventory levels. That's right. Don't have too much inventory. What are you doing? New JV with Mahindra. Unlock low-cost product development capabilities and to grow in emerging markets, right? If we're talking about autonomous markets. Autonomous vehicles. Obviously, that's going to be a huge factor. they're really going to have to be partnering up, and they certainly are. That's lovely. I love phone calls. We give them no answer, though, in my house. That's what I'm talking about. So obviously working on connected vehicles. That's kind of the goal here. We're going to make sure this is going to be the thing. Oh, look, they did actually. Initial commercializing self-driving service in 2021. Hey, look at that. So I guess that'll work. They said something about it. So once safety driver can be removed, that is only whenever they'll release this autonomous driving features. So that'll be interesting. I mean, if you have a Ford Mustang drive you around, you could rent a Ford Mustang just to drive you to McDonald's if you want to. That's McDonald's for those of you who weren't sure. This is the winning portfolio. The territory, that's right. Hybrid, baby. Hybrid, Explorer, Hybrid, Corsair. Oh, that's right. Hybrid, baby. Super Duty, that's for whenever you're really not compensating. You really want to get that Super Duty. F-150, we're putting a cloth on it now so that way you can't see it. That's the Ford way. Why? Well, it's a good question. Oh, it's a hybrid version. I see how it is. It's going to be the electric F-150. That's why they're not showing it yet, because they don't actually have a product design for it yet. That's fine. I thought they were just trying to hide its face because how much money they are declining every quarter. The Bronco, that's right. The Bronco. Look at these. This is going to be the markets that they're going to be in. So the Bronco's not yet in showrooms. Neither of these, obviously. They don't have designs for them, so they're not in showrooms, which is why they have cloths over them. This is their winning portfolio. What's a winner out of here? Well, Explorer's nice. It's a nice vehicle. Escape, it's a nice vehicle. That's about it. But it'll be cool to see. I think an electric F-150 will be huge for them if they can get that done properly by 2021 and get that out to market. I think it could be huge for them. And I think that is certainly part of a winning portfolio, as they say, as well as like an electric van. You know it. If they had an electric commercial van, that could be big for them. So, focus on consistently improving customer experience. Obviously, you can do that by not having to recall all your vehicles, making progress on global redesign, making tough choices to lay the groundwork for improvement and future growth. That's right. You know I'm well rested because I am absolutely blasting through these words. Positioning Ford to lead and win through fitness, for example, holding structural costs flat to down, excluding pension and OPEB, forming the JV with Mahindra. Okay, that's right. So we're going to try to lower costs, or at least keep them consistent. That makes sense. Because if you do that, you can go ahead and make some cashies. Discipline, execution, and driving. Strong results from Ford Credit. So cash, pretty well consistent through the years. Nothing major in terms of liquid cash, at least. So that's kind of what I look for. You want, the liquidity is the cash that's available to you in a quick notice, at least. So this could be in short-term investments that they can quickly get rid of to go ahead and pay off anything they needed to. I like positive free cash flow, and we just need to keep it up. Got to keep it up. So they need to make sure that they're growing that liquidity, in my opinion. Let's see. Wholesale units down, primarily Europe, China, and South America again. A lot of auto markets around the world globally just dragging down. I mean, there's only so much you can do. We'll entirely see how things go in the long run with markets, but I don't know what to say. Ford Credit, look at that. Boom. Automotive, mobility. I love charts. Again, I mentioned it before. I love charts. North America, automotive, EBIT, down 1 billion. We don't like downs, really. I don't like downs. Revenue, North American revenue, at least in the business unit, up. We don't like downs. I think we're getting to the point where, I mean, this is stuff. It's not necessarily. It's a little bit too specific. We don't care that much about it. We care about. Oh, look at this. What we care about, obviously, is going to be increase in debt. I don't like that. 2019 debt of 14.8 billion. Not bad. 14.8 billion in cash debt, that is. And they have cash of 22.3 billion. Liquidity of 35 billion. So not awful. Not awful entirely. I had to look at that because I love looking at cash. Cash and liquidity above target. At least they're saying that. A strong balance sheet. We love a strong balance sheet. You know what? Look at this. This is a great way to end it. I think we're looking at Outlook here. So, again, Outlook, not great in terms of earnings per share because it doesn't look like, you've made improvement from 2018. Revenue decrease, don't like it. And their guidance from 2018 free cash flow literally just says improvement from 2018. That's funny. I just gotta leave it on that. Improvement from 2018. That's very good numbers for us. Thank you. Thanks, Ford. Is the stock worthy of buying? So the valuation is very low on this stock, and it's completely fair to say. I think it's under $9 now at this point. I think the valuation is very fair on the company. I do think there's potential for a gain, but I think it's going to be rough, and there's not going to be much movement. But I don't think Ford's a bad buy at this point, at least just for the dividend. At this point, they're paying somewhere around 5-6% dividend yield just because the stock's been devalued so much. I don't think it's necessarily a bad purchase. I'm not a huge fan. Long term, I think Ford can be successful. I think any of these automotive companies can be successful. Ford has the manufacturing process in line to where they could actually make that happen. They could be successful in terms of that. They just need to get that data with autonomous driving. They need data for that, obviously. You need to know roads and get that AI working properly. Electric vehicles, I think they could be huge if they're one of the first to market with an electric truck. If they get that F-150 electric, which is America's best-selling truck. America's best-selling truck is the Ford F-150. Everyone's seen that commercial, right? We'll see. I don't think it's insane to put more money in this stock. Don't hurt me.